is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Nate Newton, Kurt Daniels, Jesse Holley, and Shannon Gross.
It's Christmas morning. Here we are. It's draft day. Excited. Let's get our customary shot of the AT&T Plaza out there. Or no, Tostitos Plaza. Sorry. It is rainy here today. It is muggy. More rain coming. Not exactly great weather, but it should be much busier later. They're going to be having the draft party out there, if not outside, inside, but should expect a good crowd there today. But as you can tell by now, we're missing our fearless leaders. This is Kurt Daniels. I'm filling in temporarily for our man, Shannon Gross. He is big-timing us. He's got a speech he's giving upstairs. I don't know, some very important group, I'm sure, but he'll be joining us later. Jesse Holley, we're trying to get him online. Still a work in progress. He'll be joining us soon. But we've got the main man here. We got our...
We have Jesse. We got Jesse.
There's Jesse. We got Nate Newton here, that's for sure. How you doing today, Nate?
Kurt, I'm excited, man. I'm really excited, man. And maybe it's a little good thing that our two big stars are not here, man. Because like I was telling you off air, and I was telling Chris, there's concerns that I have, man. And maybe these guys don't want to hear them. Maybe you'll be gracious enough to hear my concerns.
I want to hear them. So yeah, before we dive to, well, first off, I do want to at least mention, congratulations to Sean Lee for retiring.
Yes.
Great career, obviously. We'll probably get more maybe into him and his impact and all next week after the draft. But it is draft day, so we want to focus on the draft. So, until Jesse and Shannon can kind of join us, we'll dig more into some specifics. But for now, Nate, you just mentioned you got some concerns. What areas do you think, are worrying you, or you want to see the Cowboys address here?
I called you yesterday. I called Shannon, and I got in touch with both of you guys. I didn't call Jesse because, I just kind of just leave Jesse alone when it comes to certain questions.
Yeah.
And my thing to you was, and to Shannon, our fearless leader,
there he is.
I asked the question, you think the Cowboys are going to draft to really help the team this year, or are they going to draft to make the team look good?
Well.
And let me explain that.
Oh, yeah, please.
What makes the team look good if we go out and get an offensive lineman because it bolsters our great offense we already have, or we go get another wide receiver, or we get this great tight end that everybody's talking about from the University of Florida, that's going to make us look good.
Yeah.
But what's going to help this team is some cornerbacks, maybe a linebacker, maybe a great relentless edge rusher. Those are the things that I think that's going to put us in the playoffs and give us a chance to get into the second round.
Yeah.
I've seen what great offenses do. And in this case, this great offense that we have only gets us to the playoff, maybe, because we'll be minus a defense. Mm-hmm. I just don't want to go through that year after year after year knowing and seeing what you need. And not addressing it with passion.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying the Joneses don't do that. I'm not saying there's not a bunch of arguments going on, during the week of the draft, even up until this point. But it's obvious what we've done over the years and where we've been best at, and that is drafting offensive players.
Well, it raises an interesting question, I think, in that. Are you concerned with drafting for right now? Cowboys need a cornerback right now. They need defensive help right now.
Yes.
But a year from now, 2 years from now, they may need an offensive tackle. They may need a wide receiver. I mean,
no.
Here we go.
No. No.
As Jesse would say, C.D. Lamb said, Kurt, we trying to win. We trying to win right now, Kurt. You got this. If you not been on this show for the last year, we got what we got. Jesse, we got what, 2 years to win with Dak? Even though he signed a 4-year deal, you got 2. We got to win now, Kurt. I ain't worried about 2 and 3 years from now. Let's go.
You start that.
We ain't got that much time, baby. We got to go now, and we got to go right now.
Well, yeah, I see your point, and I agree. I think they definitely need somebody to defense.
Then why are you even talking?
But
why
are you
talking?
asking the question. You start drafting, like Jerry said, you don't get stupid based on needs. If you start drafting for right now, no matter what, then you're going to be chasing your tail down the road. That's all I'm going to say.
You know what? It's rules to everything. When you have a consistent playoff team, I understand what you're saying. You're allowed to draft the best player. Okay, if we were every year, first round of the playoffs, second round of the playoffs, okay, you can afford to stockpile an offensive lineman. You can afford to stockpile a receiver, But when you're on the edge of not making the playoffs, and I'm closer to not making the playoffs, then you have to go out and you have to either address this talent through free agency, which we haven't done, or you address it in the draft, which we haven't done.
Right.
It's 2 big worries that I have is the fact that if we draft a guy defensively in the first and second round, and these guys are not major contributors this year, we lose again.
Yeah.
We lose again. And then if we go out and draft a guy that has an injury that is constantly showed up in college and has cost them major games in college, and we draft this guy and he comes out here and the first thing that happens during minicamp or training camp is he hurt that same area again, and we say, okay, we gotta be cautious with him. Now we go into the season on a snap count on a guy that's 22 years old or less. Now how does he get experience? So we as an organization have to stop with the maybes and the ifs and what's going to be down the road, because down the road ain't got nothing to do with right about now. Yeah. We've not seen a second-round playoff victory in how long?
Right.
I ain't talking about Super Bowl, NFC Championship game. I'm talking about getting to the second round, and you do that with defense.
Yeah, I agree.
You agree?
It's nice you could join us.
You're welcome. Did you open up the show with the live look at the Tostitos show?
Yeah. He did a great job.
It was a little.
What's the weather today?
Did rainy, you get muggy? But
did you get the temperature?
No, I didn't get the temperature.
See, you just screwed the opening up.
Oh my God!
Hang on, we're gonna start the show. Welcome to Hangin' with the Boys.
Yeah.
That's a live look at the Tostitos Championship Plaza there at Ford Center at the Star in Frisco. It's 65 degrees. It feels like 65 degrees. It's cloudy. There'll be a high today of 70, and tonight low of 61. And that building right there, Kurt, that you were looking at. By the way, you notice the new wraps on both sides of the video board? Yeah, those look really, really good. Yeah. There will be a draft party in that building tonight, because guess what?
Yes.
I know we already know this. There's a draft tonight.
There is.
So come out to the draft party. It's going to be awesome to actually have an event where people are here. Yeah. Like, I'm so fired up about that. We're heading back to what feels like we might have some kind of normalcy this season. Yeah. This is the first big event.
They've officially moved it inside now.
They were. It was gonna. I mean, I wish it would have been outside. If the weather would have been nice, they were gonna have it on the plaza, and it would have been super nice. But it's gonna be nice anyway, and it's going to be on the field. There'll be players there. I think it's going to be Jalen, Randy Gregory, Blake Jarwin. The cheerleaders are performing. They'll have the draft show piped in there. They'll have our draft show piped in there and have some music. And
should be fun.
Come check it out. So, sorry I was late. I was upstairs speaking at some deal.
You were big time in us. Don't tell us.
I wasn't big time.
You need to welcome in Jesse, too. We haven't really acknowledged his arrival.
Is Jesse late to the show, too? He had some technical difficulties. Hey, Jess. How are you, buddy?
Let's go!
Me and Nate, the only ones here,
I was on time. I just was on time online.
Oh, okay. whatever.
We threw Chris Beam. We threw Kurt and Chris Beam for a loop.
Did you? Screwed them all up. I was late here. You were late to the. Yeah, you did say you were going to be here. What happened? Weather get you?
Nah, I have. So let me say this. Let me give a shout out right quick. So tomorrow is the start of the TAPS track and field state track meets, and so we at Kingdom Collegiate Academy have 2 young ladies who will be competing in the state tournament. Teresa Tucker and Celeste Baldwin. Teresa will be throwing the shot put and the discus, and Celeste will be running the 2 and 400. And so the day just got so busy, and I have to take them down to Waco this weekend. Myself and the track coach, we're taking them down for the tournament. We're leaving today, so like right after our show was over, I got some last minute things I need to tie up. So it just the travel to the Frisco and back would have just killed my timeline. So
we
shout out.
say where your priorities are. It's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
$10 a show.
I was going to say, you know what? Your priorities are right where they need to be, Jesse. With the future of America, you keep influencing those kids in a good way, man. You keep doing what you're doing. We'll be just fine here in the studio with the 3 of us. Hey, let's do this. Let's go a little off script because I know we're going to get into all this draft talk you have laid out for us here, Kurt. Let's play a little game. All right, I'm going to ask all of you the same question. Let's go around the horn, and then I might have a follow-up question. Then I might have another follow-up question. I might have another one. We might just do that the whole show. Kurt,
yeah,
I'm going to be pissed off tonight in the draft if the Cowboys do what?
Oh, wow! If the Cowboys do what? Well, if they, if they take like a wide receiver or quarterback.
Wide receiver, quarterback.
I can't imagine they would ever do that, but you never know.
Okay.
There could be some good wide receivers sitting there, so who knows?
Jesse, I'm going to be pissed off tonight if the Cowboys do what in the draft?
Draft the linebacker in the draft total or in the first number 10 pick?
Let's say tonight, first round.
Oh, they draft a linebacker.
If they draft
They draft a linebacker.
If they draft Michael Parsons, you're out.
If they draft Michael,
Really?
I'm pissed.
You're gonna be a grumpy
We have so
next
many
week.
more options. Yeah, I'm out. I'm so out.
Okay.
I'm so out on everything.
I think
Cowboys, they draft the linebacker.
I'm going to predict Nate's going to give us a very vague answer that encompasses a lot of things. But let's try it. Nate's going to be pissed off tonight if the Cowboys do what?
And this is for the whole draft. Draft the injured player. I am out. I am through. If they draft hey, we got the future right here in this injured player. That would kill me.
Nate,
man.
what if Farley, that was supposed to be a top 5-ish pick?
You know I hung up on you yesterday.
I know.
I mentally left you yesterday.
What if he drops to the second round?
Yeah.
He's got to drop to the second round, 32nd player in the second round before I even think about it.
Okay.
Before I even think about
Even
it.
if they don't take a corner with the first pick?
Even if they don't take a corner with the first pick.
All right.
And the second pick. And the third pick. Come on, man.
All right, Kurt.
Yeah.
Next question.
Yeah.
I will be ecstatic tonight if the Cowboys do what in the first round of the draft?
Wow. Well, I mean, obviously, either one of those cornerbacks will be good. I can give you my best case scenario. I hope they can work a trade down a little bit.
Okay.
Still get the guy they want. Get a second-round pick in that maybe. Trade back up and get a safety. How about that?
All right.
That's my dream scenario.
Who's the guy? You said the guy they want. Who do you think they want?
Well, I think at that point, if they're like dropping back to 14, something 15 like that, I would hope Horn's there. I mean, he probably won't be, but in my dream world, that would be the guy.
Jesse, Jesse would be ecstatic tonight if the Cowboys do what in the first round of the draft? Did you just fart?
He said,
No, that's my water bottle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's my water bottle.
Whatever you got to tell the people, that's fine.
You hear it?
Okay, you're having too much fun down there. We can't see
you on camera, right? You guys can't see what I'm doing.
We can't see your hands.
The camera screen.
We can't see your hands. That's not cool. Making that kind of noise with your hands out of view and that body motion.
The Tommy Johns are full. Just know that. You know what I'm saying? The Tommy Johns I would be ecstatic. If the Cowboys, if they draft Kyle Pitts.
Really?
They draft Kyle
Okay,
Pitts.
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
No.
Would you be okay if they moved up to get him?
No.
So if he's at 10.
Only if he fell to them.
If he fell to 10, okay.
I would be ecstatic if Kyle Pitts
Fell to them and they got him
and the
at 10.
Cowboys drafted him.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Nate would be ecstatic if the Cowboys did what in
Just
the first
draft a defensive player. I will be ecstatic
Keep it
if the
simple.
Cowboys just draft a defensive player.
round? Doesn't matter what position?
Oh my God, brother! Tell me what position you loving over there right now.
Yeah.
What if they draft a safety? You good with that?
I'm good with it. That
Really?
means that he can cover. That means that he can come down to the line and tackle, and he can sit back and cover. He can go to the slot. We get the next Darren Woodson. Just get a defensive player that can play 75% of the snaps.
What about you? Did you answer any of these questions?
I didn't.
Well,
That's all right. I love it. Keep going, Shannon. You doing a hell of a job.
I didn't.
I'm loving it, Cole. Yeah.
what do you think?
I would be ecstatic if they draft the best player available at 10, no matter
come on.
regardless of unless it's a quarterback.
Talking about vague.
Yeah.
Talking
unless
about
it's a
vague.
quarterback.
What if it's a receiver sitting there?
I don't want a receiver.
One of those Alabama guys.
I'm
could be there.
like Jesse. I'll take Kyle Pitts, but I don't want a quarterback or a receiver. But anything offensive lineman, if it's one of those studs is still there, I'm good with that. I'm good with linebacker. I'm with like Nate. Pick a spot on the defense. It doesn't matter. All 11. I'll take a defensive guy, but just don't do something dumb, like Nate said.
Like, I think
Go ahead.
the Cowboys are in, if we're being honest, and I tweeted this, the Cowboys are really in a great place to address any of its needs. Honestly, I think the only place the Cowboys, and you guys may think different. I think, yes, like if the Cowboys go quarterback, that's weird. Like that's weird. If they go quarterback at 10. They don't have a need for a receiver, and there's no one in this draft that, to me, is prolific enough to take at 10 for the Cowboys, outside of Kyle Pitts. But he's a tight end. The only place I think the Cowboys could go wrong in this particular situation and where it sits, I think if you drafted a linebacker, that could be the worst possible outcome. Reasonably, we're talking about reasonably, like, hey, well, they got a punter. Like, they're not going to get a punter with the number 10 overall pick, so we're not going to have that conversation. But I think linebacker at 10, when you'll still probably have an option at one of the corners, you'll still have an option at one of the tackles, you'll still probably have an option at maybe Kyle Pitts. So there's a couple other options that you have if you're sitting at 10, because there's going to be at least 3 or 4 quarterbacks taken in the top 10 picks. So there's 7 other spots, and some of the guys have other needs. So I think at 10 for the Cowboys, they're in the perfect place to
Even though
pick somebody who will instantly impact this team, whether that's a tackle / guard, a unicorn pass catcher, or one of the corners.
even though all they have right now are Van Der Esch and Jalen Smith, and there are question marks about both those guys.
Yeah, I just think with all the other picks that you got, you can find linebackers in round 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I just think at 10, that's just too high of a cost when you just you just gave Jalen a contract, and you hopefully it gets back to that point. I just think there's other gems in this draft at that linebacker position that you can pick up on, that you don't have there's more linebackers that you can get later on in the draft than you can tackles or guards or cornerbacks later on in the draft. The quality of player, not what I mean by that.
All right, that's interesting. Doesn't sound like best player available there. It sounds like maybe a little bit of need based, but that's what
Yeah.
makes sense.
All right. Well, you know what? Let's take our first break.
Yes.
And when we come back, let's talk about, well, guess what? We're the only show today other than the draft show, so I feel like the people need to hear more about the draft from our experts, since we have 2 guys that played in the league. Let's talk draft. Let's all draft the rest of the show. Even Kurt's Amen Corner will be about the draft.
Sure.
When we come back on Hanging with the Boys.
Just like all of you, we at SeatGeek can't wait until we're back in the stands at full strength cheering on the Cowboys and singing along to our favorite songs again. We're using this time to make discovering, buying, and selling tickets to events in Dallas easier. Plus, every ticket purchased on SeatGeek is protected by our buyer guarantee, which means you'll get your money back or better if your event is canceled. Guaranteed. Download the SeatGeek app today, and when the time is right, let's go. SeatGeek.
Grab some OtterBox gear and get ready for Hanging with the Boys. From rugged venture coolers to tough as nails elevation tumblers, we've got what you need to keep your game day drinks frosty and your football feast ice cold. And with cases, screen protectors, and power accessories, you can defend your phone and stay connected to every play. Gear up at OtterBox.com and amp up the fun of every Cowboys game. That's OtterBox.com.
1996, a great year and a glorious decade. Dolly the Sheep was cloned. Dial-up was awesome. Influencers didn't exist. Pants were baggy. And the Dallas Cowboys won it all yet again. Sadly, we can't go back to the 90s, but we can still watch the Cowboys try to win it all once more. Whether you're traveling to the games or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com. Proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Petit Jean Meats has been providing high-quality meat for families for more than 90 years. Using only the best cuts of meat and quality ingredients, Petit Jean Meats still smokes their meats the old-fashioned way, over real hickory chips for 18 hours. Fill your pantry with Petit Jean Meats ham, sausage, bacon, and more. Or send your loved ones a gift box full of their favorite items from pjmeats.com. That's pjmeats.com. Petit Jean Meats. Taste the difference.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Welcome back to the show. If you're watching the draft tonight in old basketball shorts or baggy sweats, well, you're an amateur. If you want to relax like a pro, upgrade to the comfort of Tommy John loungewear. Looks awesome, feels even better. It's got pockets for snacks and is machine washable for any unpredictable nacho cheese spill. Shop loungewear at TommyJohn.com/Cowboys for 15% off your first order. TommyJohn.com/Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mm-hmm. More draft stuff. Did you get into the Surtain versus Horn?
No, we
talk?
just gotten started when you walked
when
in.
When I shut down the show and went my own direction. What are you doing tonight for the draft, Kurt? Where are you watching it?
I'll just be at home and on call if they need help.
You writing anything or?
If they need help, I'm available. I'm not sure. It sounds like they got it pretty well covered. So
Nate, where are you watching it?
I'm watching it right at the crib, man.
Yeah,
and like I told Kurt, man. Let's don't mess this one up, man. Let's don't mess this one up.
Just where are you watching? You'll be at the track meet, right? You just gonna keep up with it on Twitter?
Well, hopefully it's the track meet's not until tomorrow morning.
Oh, okay.
I'll probably be in my hotel room watching it.
Okay. Nate, you're connected. You know some folks. you know some people in the building. You know some people out of the building. This is a weird draft. Because I've heard names out there, but I've really only internally heard two names being thrown around as, and this could be a smokescreen, which makes me wonder, draft is notorious for information getting leaked that's not true as a smokescreen and all that, but usually you hear a few names. The only two names I'm really hearing are Horn and Surtain. I've heard that they could be interested in an offensive tackle. I've heard that they could be interested in Micah Parsons, but those two names keep coming up. And Kurt, you got a note here that Broadus had in his notes that the draft room is split on Surtain and Horn. The scouts want Surtain because he's more polished, and the coaches want Horn because he's more aggressive. So, Nate, my first question is: I want to have a follow up on that, but the first question is, Nate, are you hearing any names or?
Nah, Shannon. I told Kurt, I said this is 1 year I'm in the wait and see mode. I asked one of my teammates about both of these guys, and he liked it. The Bama kid.
Surtain?
Yeah, he liked the Bama kid. He said because he's more polished.
Mm-hmm.
He said Horn is a little more aggressive, but he think the other kid is a little more polished at this time.
Yeah. But Jesse, you know folks in and out of the building too. Are you hearing are you hearing those two names, or are you hearing any other ones, or hearing they like one more than the other?
Yeah, I'm also hearing like that there's a little love for one of those offensive linemen, Slater, Sewell, and a lot of it is because they know that Tyron is kind of on his last leg, and you just gave $200 million to a quarterback who you got to protect, and just trying to have that position flex, maybe play him at a little bit of guard, play him at a little bit of tackle, until Tyron either retires or you have to let Tyron go due to injury, and especially now that you're adding that 17 game to the season, you're gonna need some durability coming down the stretch. And we all know none of this works for this Cowboys team. No matter who you take on defense, no matter what unicorn you may bring in on offense, if 4 isn't upright, if 4 isn't on the field and his jersey is clean, none of this works. None of this has any hope of ever having any type of success. So if you're confident, and they are fairly confident in, Lyle, he's back, he's participating, and you got your other players across the offensive line back healthy. But if you're confident that Tyron Smith can give you, Nate says 75% of the snaps. If you're confident that Lyle can give you 75 to 80% of the season, then you go ahead and you pick somebody else. But if you're not sure, and there's still some question about that, I'm hearing a little bit that they are kind of peeking over there at maybe one of those tackles, because they remember what life was like when they had a young Tyron,
Travis, Zach,
Travis and Zach. That was that was something special when that offensive line was the most dominant thing in football.
Nate, I know you said you'd be ecstatic if they go anywhere on defense. Are you mad if they take one of these stud offensive tackles?
No, I'm not. But if we get one of these stud offensive tackles, start.
That's my question. What if Smith and Collins are healthy, and you're trying to get a rookie to move a new position?
When you draft the offensive lineman in the first round, he starts. Now,
has to.
Like Jimmy Johnson told us one time when Big E was ready to start, he looked at the offensive line and the offensive line coach and said, "I don't care which one of these guys you move out, Eric starts." I'm like, wow, this guy starts. That's just the bottom line. If you, as bad as our defense is, and you deem it necessary to have a starting guy that high, 10, he starts. Can you see anything else?
No.
He starts.
No, I think
Yeah.
So, anywhere in the first round, you got to start.
He's your left guard then, basically?
I don't know what they do, but he starts. I really don't. If we going down that road, because if he don't start, what does that say?
Yeah.
That's a wasted draft. You could have wasted that on another player. There's certain positions you have to start.
Yeah.
Kurt, you hearing any names?
Nah, like you. I mean, all the talks, you hear Surtain and Horn, and it'll be interesting, if the tackle, if they're gone, those two.
Is Coach Quinn that good?
We don't know.
Is Coach Quinn that good?
He needs talent, right?
We draft the offensive line.
That he can change the defense.
And then we just go in there with the guys we got. Is he that good, Jess?
We don't know.
When he was at his best, he had dogs.
Yeah.
When Coach Quinn was at, and honestly, Nate, when most coaches are at their best, they got dogs.
Right.
When most coaches are at their best, right? When you see like, man, that's a hell of a coach. That's a hell of a coach team. 9.99% of the time, when you label that coach with that name or that moniker, when you kind of trace back to his roster, you like, yeah, I see why he's a dog. Yeah. He got Patrick Mahomes, he got Tom Brady, or he got Khalil Mack, he got Aaron Donald, you know. Right. So when you start talking about, you know, guys like that, you start looking around and you start saying, I mean, he when he was that good, he had some dogs around him. So I don't know if he has enough dogs here, if he can train the pups up here to become more aggressive dogs, or what. I know that when he was at his best, there was a few dogs in his kennel that he was able to take the leash off of, and they went to work.
All right, so Kurt has a good question. If Broadus is right, and the scouts want Surtain, and the coaches want Horn, who, as former players, who should they listen to? Who should Jerry listen to when he makes the call? The coaches or the scouts?
I'll listen to the scouts.
The people who. No.
I'll listen to the scouts.
No. Nope.
I
like it. A fight. Let's go.
I'm listening to the folks that got.
Let's go.
I'm listening to the folks who got to coach these cats every single day, and because your job is dependent upon it. This the guy you want.
But cool. Jesse,
this the guy that you want.
Aren't they kind of in this shape because they listened to the coaches the last 3 or 4 drafts?
Taco Charlton.
You acting like nah, bruh. Nah. Let's let the scouts do their job for a change.
We can say that about a lot. The scouts had put the LSU kid, say he rated higher than Deion Sanders. The scouts said that. That turned out to be wrong. So, I mean, you could play it both sides. You could say a coach could say, yeah, give me Taco Charlton, and then not be what it's supposed to be. You can also have the scouts say, well, Mo Claiborne is rated, according to our numbers, he's ranked and rated higher than what we had Deion Sanders.
But the coaches also wanted him with equal flavor. But the coaches also wanted him with equal flavor. It wasn't a discrepancy. It's a discrepancy here. Well, you know what? Let's go back to Tristan Hill. You know, one of the coaches said, "Hey man, this is good. I spent the weekend with him. Oh, we hung out, best of buddies." What did that do for you?
Hey Chris, I got a question for you, back there behind the scenes guy. You're pretty tight with one of the scouts. Who would you listen to? The scouts or the coaches? Putting him on the spot.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, like, don't you want to listen to the scouts because they're doing all the work?
But if they both want cornerbacks, then
yeah, but the scouts are doing all the work. They know the guys. You know, they go and talk to everybody from like the position coaches to the strength
trainers,
coaches, the trainers, so they get to know the guy. Not just one weekend. So, I mean, I would say the scouts, because the scouts are going to be there longer, and it's their job, basically.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, I think
if Quinn does good at a defense, he may have a head coaching job next year. You know what I'm saying? And we learned from Marinelli's stuff that, you know, sometimes it doesn't work out, Taco. So,
yeah. Still in the league, by the way.
You know, if you were talking about a quarterback, where coach is going to spend a whole lot more time studying. You know, I understand what you're saying. But these coaches ain't spending as much time as these scouts. And I just believe that you let a scout do his job, man. But now the scouts have presented both of these guys, you know, as good players. But we keep saying, the kid from Bama is this, the kid from Bama is this, he's more polished. We need guys that can come in and impact now. Can Horn impact now? And maybe the coaches are seeing that, hey, this kid is aggressive, we can impact now. And but both of them are healthy. Both of them has no history of injuries.
And guess what? They play defense.
And they play defense.
So you're good with either one?
So I'm going to be ecstatic if they get either one.
It sounds like part of the reason the coaches want Horn is because McCarthy coached Joe Horn. He coached his dad, and Quinn is friends with Horn's college coach, and so there's some connections.
Bobby Carpenter, friendship to friendship.
Yeah. So Nate and Jesse, this is kind of geared towards you guys too. I read. I don't know.
That's another one, right? Didn't the scouts want Bobby Carpenter? Because Bill Parcells didn't want Bobby Carpenter.
Bill Parcells wanted Bobby Carpenter.
No, Bill wanted Bill wanted Bobby because he coached his dad at New York.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Bobby Carpenter's dad played for Parcells for the Giants.
So this is a relationship question like that.
Right.
I don't know if y'all got to read DeMarcus Lawrence's open letter to Tyrone Crawford. This was last week. Really cool. Really cool letter. If you didn't read it, go find it. I think it's on The Athletic, I think, somewhere. But it's
Players Tribune.
Players Tribune. It was really good. I learned some stuff, and I know both of those guys pretty well. I didn't realize that their relationship was like that. But he said he firmly believed that if Tyrone Crawford wasn't here, he would have not wound up at Dallas Cowboys. That Tyrone lobbied for him and the coaches, with the coaches, telling him he was a beast. They needed to get him here. He felt like if Tyrone wouldn't have done that, he wouldn't have been here. So when it comes to relationships, does it factor in that Surtain was a teammate with Diggs? Does that carry any weight that they've played together before? Or is it just more of a kind of lip service thing where they can go to Diggs and say, hey, how was this guy? And if he puts in a good word for him, that maybe that gives him a little bit of an edge if it's a tiebreaker? Or do the coaches and the scouts think at all like, hey, these guys played together in the same system? Do they fit on this team together? It's probably not even a question, is it?
No, it is because, Michael Irvin, we used to do Plan B free agency. Mm-hmm. Jimmy would stick a bunch of guys with Mike. I mean, that wasn't always a good thing when they went outside of the complex, but it was a great thing inside of the complex. I'm telling you, because Mike was going to give Jimmy a straight. Mike was, believe it or not, well, y'all know that Mike was about winning.
Right.
And if a guy left that place and Mike has hung out with him on that complex and outside that complex, Mike would come back and tell Jimmy straight up, no, not this one, coach. Yeah,
Really?
Either like, because they would, if this kid that we got last year, if he's geared towards winning, he's going. But you got to know your players as a coach. You got to know what buttons to push and who to trust. So when you that's not going to be. That's just a small, very small part of it. Going to another player saying, hey, what do you think about this guy? And this guy giving you an honest assessment of a guy. I'm going to tell you here, man, I didn't know Horn because I watched him a little bit a year or so ago. I didn't know he was this nice, but I didn't watch enough games to know. But the scouts watched enough games to know. Mm-hmm. The coaches ain't watched enough games. They may have concentrated because they trying to make an impact, the defensive players, the defensive coaches, but them scouts, they've been on this, man. They've been seeing what the Cowboys needed. They've been sitting there saying, but we know what we need. They've been on this, especially the college side of the guy. What's our guy named? Jesus, I call him Jesus.
Chris Hall?
Chris Hall,
Jesus.
yes. Yeah. Because he got the beard and gray.
And the hair.
Yeah, the hair. I mean, he ain't Jesus, but that's just what I call him. So
I would think Jesus would be a little taller than Chris.
Wow. But anyway.
You got Jesus' measurements on you there?
Yeah.
I believe this right here is that
I wonder how tall Jesus
whatever
was.
guy you get, he got to impact this team.
Jesse, you're a man of God. How tall you think Jesus was?
What's his 40?
Yeah.
Whatever he wanted to be.
Jesus probably about he was at least a 6-footer, 6'1".
Yeah. 6'1". Okay. All right. He could play in the league.
Wow. Okay.
This is where you go for your draft coverage. Hanging with the boys.
The only show on the draft day, and you tune in. If you just tune in for this, it's like, what
would
am
Jesus
I?
be ranked? What is Jesus' skill set?
Where would he be drafted?
Fast twitch muscle movements. Can he cover in space?
Would someone trade up to get him? Speaking of trading,
would you pick? If you were at 10, would you pick Jesus tonight?
Speaking of trading, Kurt, would you be surprised?
Feet are so good he walk on water.
That's a good one. Kurt, would you be surprised if the Cowboys traded up or down tonight?
I'd be very surprised if they traded up. I don't think they want to. I don't think there's anybody up there that they want to go get that bad that they'd want to give up the draft capital. I don't think they should. Wouldn't surprise me at all if they traded down. There's going to be a lot of players there at 10 that other teams are going to covet. Like we talked about the wide receivers. There could be a couple of them there. The tackle, could be quarterbacks. There might be one or two of them there. So they're going to have the opportunity to trade down if they want. If they do, I want to fleece whoever's offering. I want
them overpay.
Yeah, I mean, I would like a ready-made starter veteran, a young starter already that I can plug in right now. I would like if not a next year's first, a second rounder this year that you can maybe use to package and move back up in the late first round. So it wouldn't surprise me at all. And I actually,
Kurt going to work.
Yeah,
he is, man. Look at he's thought about this. I'm so glad you asked me this question.
All right, thank you. If they can, if they can get the right package and not move too far down and still get a player there, a defensive guy, they can use anybody up and down the board. They still get a defensive guy player they want. I would do it. I like the idea of building the team through, an additional pick and maybe even picking up a defensive veteran.
Jesse, would you be surprised if the Cowboys moved up or down?
Yeah, if they jumped up closer, lower than 10, that would surprise me. Mm-hmm. And to Kurt's point, the scenario that he's talking about and running through my head, if a guy like Justin Field begins to drop and the Patriots see him kind of in that 9-10 area, can probably get to there, I can see the Patriots saying, you know what, we're going to give up some draft capital to move up to get our quarterback. And, you add a guy like Stephon Gilmore into that package and a second round pick. And now, you can move that second round pick and whatever you got to move back in, maybe to 12, 13 if you need to. But there's scenarios where the Cowboys can, if the getting is good enough to move back out of that 10 spot, allow a team like the Patriots to come in and grab their quarterback. But it has to be something where that they're not going to try to come up and steal a spot for a pick that you want. Now, they want to move up to that spot to get their quarterback. Then I think the situation you say, you know what, let's get this guy and then let's move back into that spot to go get our guy. But if there's a spot, if you're like, I think they may take one of our guys, then I just stay pat and say, nah, we're good. We're going to stay right here. We're going to get what we got. And then you guys have to figure out the rest. But I would be shocked if they move anywhere from 10 down, but wouldn't be shocked at all if they move 10, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, something like that.
Nate, would you be shocked if they moved up or down?
Stay where you at, baby.
Stay.
Rock and roll where you at. I don't want them to move, man. I don't want them to move. So I know they ain't going up. There's nowhere in the world they going.
There's going to be too many guys there that they would take at 10 to go unless you know what I could see Pitts. There's no way he's getting past Atlanta, right? There's no way Atlanta's not taking him, right?
Some mocks have him slipping past and Atlanta taking
But Atlanta's
else,
always been the type of team that would eat up a skill position player. They much like the Cowboys. If they get a chance at a skill position player, they normally just gobble them up.
And then if he gets past that, the Dolphins, I think, would probably jump on him. But if he were to slip to, if Pitts was to slip to 7 or 8, no, you don't think?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
I wouldn't give up
the price is too.
Nah.
If I'm going down with the Cowboys, I got to go down enough to make a team pay me, to overpay me. People saying, well, they'll overpay anyway, but not all teams. But if I'm going down to 14, 15, that'll make a team pay. Mm-hmm. Just going down 1 or 2 spots, you can't make a team pay.
You know what? Do y'all feel this way about the draft? Chris, you jump in here too. I don't ever get excited about the draft. We don't even really talk about the draft a lot on this show. We let the draft guys do that because I tell you what, I would put our draft guys against any of these national guys.
Kyle, Dave.
Those dudes do so much work. And then Kavanaugh and all those guys over at the Fan,
Mm-hmm.
they watch so much film. Dane, Broadus, all those guys. I think they're more knowledgeable than these national guys. I think and especially they have a tie to this organization, so they are more in tune. And if you go back and look over the years, Nick, Rob, Dave, Broadus, they hit a lot of those 3rd, 4th, 5th round guys that you have no idea how they know, but every year they get some of those guys right. Yeah. So if you go look at their mock drafts, they're usually on it. But I don't really get excited about the draft, but when draft day gets here, I'm pumped.
Yeah, it's good.
I get so pumped. I don't care until the day of, and then the more I start talking about and thinking about, I'm legit excited for tonight. Are you like that, or does the draft get you pumped up
even
from the
more
beginning?
so this year because it's the 10th pick and there's a lot of scenarios that could play out. So it is exciting. I'll be listening to those guys tonight.
If it's one guy that we have to draft, It's an offensive tackle. I don't know who this guy is and what school he's at, but I'm in love with this guy.
Because of his name?
Offensive tackle. He got a second-round grade from Broad. His name is Leatherwood. We got to get this dude.
Alabama
we
kid.
got to get this dude.
Because you know what?
We got
you can either you can either lay the leather or you can lay the wood. It don't matter. Just lay it.
Just lay it. We got to get it, Jess.
Hey,
we got to get it.
Hey, Beam.
Beam said he's from Alabama.
Yeah. Leatherwood.
Beam, do you get excited for the draft?
Wow.
I know you're producing the show tonight, and you've been listening to him for months now, but does the draft pump you up?
Yeah, it pumps me up, but man, I'm to the point where I'm just ready to get it done.
Because you've been hearing about it for 4 months.
I put so much work into graphics and all the stuff for it. I mean, I've got like over 1,000 graphics for all the players, headshots, everything. So we're really prepared for it. So
yeah,
should be fun though.
Yeah, that
I'm
show.
looking forward to it. For sure.
Show's gonna be nice. Y'all got some production value for it for sure. Y'all got all the college highlights. We'll have the secret audio tonight out on social media. We'll have. We've got if our pick, I think if our pick is at the draft, we'll have red carpet photos and selfie videos and all kind of stuff going out on social tonight. So follow all of our social channels and definitely listen to the draft show tonight because what's the plan tonight, Chris?
Is Jerry on the yacht tonight? That's all I care about.
I'm pretty sure he's in the war room this year.
Yes, he said he would not be.
Pretty sure he's in the war.
They opened it back up this year.
He joked at the press conference.
That's whack.
He wanted to be at the yacht, but he's got to be in the draft.
Yeah. What's the plan?
I wanted to see Jerry's yacht. I wanted to see Cliff Kingsbury's crib.
Right.
Again.
The Rams
like
draft.
year.
The Rams draft house that they've been pumping up with Rebel
the
Wilson.
Rams draft house.
Yeah, the Rams draft house. Are they doing that this year? The Rams draft house?
They're
been promoting it a lot.
I've seen it be promoted. I don't know if they're actually drafting from there.
It, yeah.
But Chris,
well, their first pick isn't until like late in the second round, so they have time to do something.
So they can chill at the draft house and then go to the facility.
Yeah.
What's
the spin at the draft house tonight? Actually,
what's the plan for the draft show tonight? What time are y'all kicking off?
6:30 tonight. We'll be kicking off, and we'll go all the way through the last pick. And then we'll also have the press conference live on DallasCowboys.com.
And then you'll be on tomorrow night when the draft starts and Saturday, right?
Yeah, Saturday. Yep.
It's a lot of. That's a lot of cover. That's a lot of podcasting,
like 20
Chris.
something hours.
Jesus. Hope you're getting paid for that.
No.
$10 a show.
$10.
I do it just because I like to.
He does it because he loves it. He does it because he.
Hey, do me. Hey, soon as Leatherwood is picked, text me and tell me where he go.
Nate's going to follow him all year.
Yeah.
All right.
You should know because you're going to be watching the draft show tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching the draft show, all right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm going to be like, hey, call me when the Cowboys get ready to pick so I'll be in front of the TV because that's the only people I want to know who they going to pick. That is it.
All right, fellas, let's take our last break. When we come.
Okay, go ahead.
What? No, go ahead.
I'll actually want to come back.
Okay, Jesse got a question when we come back. And Kurt's Amen Corner, we don't even know if Kurt will do one because it's probably the same thing that we do even if it wasn't Amen Corner. But all that and more for the last 10 minutes of the show. When we come back on Hangin' with the Boys.
How great would it be to travel to watch the Cowboys win on another team's turf? Pretty great. But honestly, just watching the game from anywhere but your house would be fun. Even a hotel bar with some guy named Phil from St. Louis who thinks Oakland still has a team. So whether you're traveling to the game or watching from your favorite vacation spot, book a place to stay on Hotels.com, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Hey, Cowboys fans, if you're thinking about attending a game this season, visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today. Stay at the team hotel, have dinner with a Cowboys legend, and experience AT&T Stadium's exclusive VIP Owners Club. Also, tour the Star, get autographs from your favorite players, and talk X's and O's with me, Mickey Spagnola. The official travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys will take care of all your travel needs. Visit cowboystravel.com.
Just like all of you, we at SeatGeek can't wait until we're back in the stands at full strength cheering on the Cowboys and singing along to our favorite songs again. We're using this time to make discovering, buying, and selling tickets to events in Dallas easier. Plus, every ticket purchased on SeatGeek is protected by our buyer guarantee, which means you'll get your money back or better if your event is canceled. Guaranteed. Download the SeatGeek app today, and when the time is right, let's go. SeatGeek.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Join us tonight at the official 2021 Dallas Cowboys Draft Party presented by Miller Lite on Thursday, April 29th. That's tonight. They messed this copy up because it's no longer outside. It is in Ford Center. Enjoy live NFL draft coverage, performances by the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, live music, a cornhole tournament. Chris, are you playing in that?
They wish.
And so much more. Admission and parking are free. For details, visit DallasCowboys.com/draft day. I didn't know they were having a cornhole tournament. Very nice.
I got 2 dubs last night at the Cornhole League.
Did you? Good for you,
You're in
man.
a cornhole league.
Oh,
Wow.
Beam is serious about it.
Wow.
Beam is...
I'm okay.
Yeah. All right. Jesse got a question, and then Kurt's Corner for the last few minutes of the show. Go ahead, Jesse.
Okay, so my question is kind of more curtailed towards Nate, but you guys can answer this question too because I'll put it in a job form.
Okay.
But Nate, was there ever a time when you were with the Cowboys and you were watching the draft and they picked somebody, you were like, oh snap, I'm probably about, like you felt like your job was on the line then because they drafted somebody. You was like,
good question.
Yeah, I've been with, because me and you've been in the same place, Jess, at the bottom of the barrel as free agents. I'm serious, at the bottom of the barrel.
And I'll say for Kurt and Shannon, has the Cowboys ever hired anybody? Ooh. And you've been like, wait a second.
They do the same thing I do.
They hired them?
And she looked better.
You go first, Nate.
Oh, yeah. For my first 3 years, we was drafting offensive linemen. We was needing them. Everybody was getting older like this offensive line, like they claim this offensive line is, which I don't think. But, yeah. I mean, it's like, wow. Like, they had a kid from University of Florida, one of my homeboys, who my brother played with. I can't think of Zimmerman, I think his name was, but I'm like, wow, that got you, Big Noon. They got you. I'm sitting there, okay, we'll see. We still got to suit up.
Yeah. Kurt, you've been to several stops. You've been with the Rangers and the Stars and here. Did you ever wonder?
Did you ever train your replacement? Did you ever train your replacement?
The only time I trained my replacement was when I knew I was leaving and I was helping him come in. So I guess I don't remember them like hiring somebody. I've been put in situations where there was people there that I thought were gunning for me or whatever, but it was never like that. But I don't know.
Wow, man.
Jesse, I guess that was a yearly occurrence for you, huh? Every time a wide receiver got drafted, you were like damn, more competition, huh?
The one that really stood out was the year Des Bryant was drafted. That was one that really stood out because we were kind of told by that head coach that we weren't going to draft offense. We were pretty stacked offensively. And I remember being in Mexico. I remember I was in Cancun, Mexico. I was like, I was listening to the draft while in Cancun with Des
Bryant. What?
That's exactly what it sounded like. It literally, I'm like, we're getting ready for dinner. I'm like, all right, the Cowboys are going to pick, and then I'll see the rest of it later. And it was like, let's go. Now these Cowboys select Des Bryant. And I was like, I picked out the bathroom. I said,
what?
What that say? She said, it said Des Bryant. I said, I know it didn't.
Do you know him?
She was back-to-backs. We gotta go.
I was like, whoa.
Oh man, let me get back over there and work out and be in front of the coach.
I need to start working.
Yeah, I was like.
But do players generally like the draft?
Because I went to the safe. I went to the safe and got my phone out of the safe. And before I can get the phone, I had 4 missed calls. Roy Williams called me. Miles Austin called me. Patrick Clayton called me. All of them was calling me like, what the bleep, 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 bleep.
Clarence.
He told us we were going to go defense on this draft. Bloop, 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 mother, bloop, bloop, bloop. I was like, well, you guys are, I'm like, Roy, what are you talking about? They just gave you 7 years, $49 million. You're not going anywhere. Yeah. I'm like, oh, y'all fine. I'm the one who has to worry. Like this, I might need to watch how I spend on this vacation that I'm on right now because my pennies will be needed once I get back to the States.
Girl, you really need that dessert?
So do you guys generally hate the draft, or do players like it? I mean,
I just ignored it my first few years because I knew I was going to be battling. Mm-hmm. I was. It was so bad for me that when I had rookie camp, the first 2 years I had to still go to rookie camp. Mm-hmm. So I didn't care. I was like, it is what it is. We'll see when we crank it up. Mm. You can look good in them underwear, but when we put on them pads, we gonna find out.
Nate, what about when they drafted LA?
I was secured in. When they drafted LA, I was good, man. Yeah, I was secure. He was just a piece to the puzzle. But you know what? When we saw him play, when we saw him in training camp, we knew something special. Jesse, can I ask you?
Yeah.
Jesse, have you ever seen that guy? When Eric Williams, it took a year. Uh-huh. It took a year for Eric. But it did.
Tyron Smith. When we watched Tyron Smith go up, and Tyron had one of the best teachers possible because every single day he went up against prime DeMarcus Ware.
Yes.
Every single day. And you sometimes you stand back there, you kind of you like this, you peeking over there at them, and then sometimes you'll see it on film, and of course sometimes DeMarcus will just manhandle him, right? Just had the moves, had the toolbox full of moves.
Right.
The stab, the swim, the spin, the speed, the bull. But then every now and again, that young, what Tyron was 19 years old? 20 years old when he got drafted?
Yep. Mm-hmm. That was
and every now and again, early on, he'd get those big mitts on D-Ware, and he carried D-Ware somewhere where he didn't want to go. And you'd be like, did he just do that to D-Ware? You were like, God. And you just knew it every single day. You just see him asking questions. And it got to a point where when they got to doing, how you break it down and, receivers and DBs and running backs and linebackers and guys were like kind of peeking over to offensive, defensive line because you just wanted to see Big 77, this young, just monster-looking dude against, you already knew the future Hall of Famer DeMarcus Ware. Mm-hmm. And it would be, talking about iron sharpen iron, that used to be some fun stuff to watch.
I remember that. That was San Antonio days, and I remember Tyron. I remember Tyron had hair back then, so I remember that because I have a picture on my phone. Jesse, you know what? I got a picture on my phone of you. It was the first year I did social media, and you were on the team in San Antonio. I have a cell phone picture of you, like after practice, either interviewing or signing autographs or something. I had to get Chris to put on the show next week, but I remember Tyron would stay after every single practice, and he would talk. Was it Hudson Houck? Is that who the line coach was then?
Yeah.
He would talk to Hudson, and then some days DeMarcus would stay out there with him, and he worked every single day. He was out there for another 10 or 15 minutes after practice, like learning technique. And I was like, look, that you don't see that a lot in the league. I was like, that dude's going to be special, man. I hope he gets it back together this year.
And Westcott was the same way, man. Big E was the same way. And I'm telling you, man, Larry Allen, you knew he was something special, man. You got the body swat where you hit a dude, you catch him right there on the shoulder and kind of turn his shoulder, called a body swat. Mm-hmm. Somebody body swatted Larry Allen one day in practice and threw him 2 steps forward where he headed. And this dude popped back and still got his hands on the back of that dude's hip and ran him around the quarterback. Everybody looked. And I said to myself, well, I got 2 more years.
Yeah. I remember this. I remember the story about Charles Haley's first time going up against Larry Allen. He's like dogging him or trashing him or whatever, and Larry basically picked him up and threw him down. And
when he caught up with him, he did. Yeah.
And Charles went over to the coach and said something like, yeah, this boy can play.
Yeah, when he finally caught up with him, because Charles was studying. Charles ain't going to let you get your hands on him. But when he finally got his hands on him, man, him and Big E had the hurtingest hands in the world, man. it was never a nice day for them. You know, nobody wanted to practice against Big E or Larry Allen. It just wasn't nice, man.
Well, Kurt, you got 4 seconds left in Kurt's corner.
Predictions.
Take it away.
Predictions. What's going to happen? What are the Cowboys going to do tonight?
Oh, man.
I'm going to be ecstatic tonight. That's all. I'm going to be ecstatic.
Surtain.
You're going Surtain?
Surtain. We'll have the Alabama bookends.
I think maybe Surtain will be gone. They'll take Horn.
I'll still be ecstatic. It's a defensive player. They ain't injured.
You're not going to give us a prediction, are you?
Either one of those guys will do me perfect. I'm serious.
Yep. Can't go wrong with either one.
Do you think it'll be one of those two?
I hope it is.
You hope it is? Okay.
Yes, because I said months ago that we need corners.
You can never corner. You can never corner Nate on a prediction. It's always 16-0, or just get the best guy, or just get defense, or I hope it is, or they got to do the right thing.
But you said last time I tried.
Just don't do nothing dumb.
Hold on. I can pronounce Horn. Okay. But what's the other kid's name?
Surtain.
Okay. Either one would do me fine.
So I'm telling you. Chris, you got a prediction?
I'm gonna go with Surtain.
Surtain. I'm gonna go with Kurt. I think Surtain's gone. If he's there, I think they get him. If not, I think they go Horn.
Okay.
I'm like Nate. I'm good with either one.
Man. I'm good.
Carolina don't take Surtain. Eagles swap with Denver, take Horn, and then what do we do?
Eagles are going to get a receiver that we're going to have to deal with for the next 6 years. You watch.
You know what? The Eagles ain't been good at picking receivers lately.
They have not. Right.
Let's hope they keep doing that.
They're projecting them to get Devontae Smith from Alabama, and I don't think you can miss with that guy. I think that guy's going to be special.
Nice.
I think he's going to be special. Yeah.
Is he for real, Jess? Is he for real?
Him, but you still need a quarterback
throw
to
him
throw.
ball.
Who you pick? If you ain't got no quarterback to throw it to him, and Jalen Hurts ain't it, so pick away, Eagles. Pick all those skill guys you want. Jalen Hurts ain't it.
I know we're not talking. We're over, but just real quick, what are the legit receivers in this first round?
Yes.
Who do you like? I know we're not probably taking one, but
Smith is not big, but he looked legit, man.
I have concerns about those. I've been starting to have concerns about those small frame dudes. Like, man, 160, 170. And you're talking about this guy's going to be your primary receiver? This ain't playing 8 to 10 games. It's playing 17 games. That's the difference that I think we got to talk about a little bit when you talk about those smaller frame guys. And I know that's the wave. But the more I begin to think about it, I go, I know he's not afraid to go up in the middle and make contested catches, but 160, 170 for 17 weeks.
That's a grind.
You're playing a lot more plays, you're playing a lot more snaps, and if you're going to be the focal point, you're going to have a lot more targets on you. That's going to be one where we look up and we're like, man, he only played 8 games this year. Foot injury,
don't say that.
Shoulder injury.
Don't say
like
that.
So I don't
say that, Jess.
These smaller guys, kind of, small, speedy guys, Waddle and Smith, while they're exciting and I'm a little bit nervous when you talk about 17 games for a young receiver making that transition to the big leagues when you're used to playing 10 to 12 games, and you play into the year, but there's a month break.
He didn't answer. He didn't answer the question.
No, it just reminded me when he said when we said so excited, reminded me of Mars Day with the time. When he
Hallelujah!
No. When he told the young lady, "You're so exciting." That's what I'm thinking about these dudes. They get hit in the head, they through. Excited, they go.
Well, man, be a lot to talk about next week. We got 10 draft picks starting tonight. One more before we go. What you got, Nate?
Are you more excited that you're going to be over there at the draft show, or are you just excited about the draft?
I'm excited about the draft. I might not even. I'm gonna go over there before and see the setup.
Okay.
By the way, I'm on the Cowboys UK podcast. They're doing a 24-hour marathon. They started this morning. They're doing that. They've got everybody. They got Jane Slater. They've got Steven. Wow. They've got Derek. They've got Nick. They've got Dave. Like, they've got Tons of folks on. It's awesome. Those guys they're maniacs. 24-hour draft coverage. So I'm going to go over there and do my part from over there and check out the setup, but I'm just excited for the draft, man. It's a grind for us. Like, we're up here till midnight every night and up here all day. So, but I haven't been this excited in a while just because they need so many pieces. Yeah. I don't think they can screw it up. But you know what? We'll be here next Thursday if they do to tell you about it. Nate will be the first one on the air. So, all right, fellas. Kurt, happy draft day.
Same to you.
Nate, happy draft day, man. Jesse, happy draft day. Chris Beam, have fun on your 20-hour marathon starting tonight. We will be back next week, Thursday, hanging with the boys to talk about this draft class and how great the Cowboys are going to be. And Nate can probably go ahead and give you his 16-0 prediction then.
We got
before the schedule
the
even
round,
comes out.
baby. Leatherhead.
Let's go.
All right. Leatherhead.
We'll be back next week, hanging with the boys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!